I'd like to show you how to do some chops with this nice piece of meat. So here we go. You know, that probably wasn't a great place for that. Let me move that back over here. All right, so we're working now with the center of this piece. Great piece of meat, nice and tender. Not a lot of fat on there, as you can see. Not a lot of intermuscular fat either. Very nice piece. This makes great chops. One thing I'll say, I don't want to confuse you here, but this is very similar. I mean, this is essentially the same muscle group as the New York strip is on a cow. So this is a loin that is, it's basically, you know, if we were talking about beef here, we'd be talking about a New York strip steak. Does that make sense? It's very similar. They don't obviously call a pork loin a New York strip, anything like that. But just to give you an idea of how these animals relate, that is something to point out. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying there. If not, please ask. I will be happy to clarify. So anyway, I'm going to take these nice chops right from the center, and I'm going to take my big knife again, because you need that driving force and the weight behind this big knife, which is great for cutting these chops. So any thickness you want. If you're going to fry them in a pan, which is another great use for a piece just like this, you could cut these nice and thin, maybe even a little bit thinner than that, you know, like 1/2 inch or so. And again, with the right knife, you can definitely do that without extra work. Those are even thinner, if you can see those. Okay, I'll get those laid out for you nice. And these are great to bread up if you wanna throw them in like an egg wash, right? You see that? Bread those up, and you can fry those right in a pan. Now, if you want to trim some of that fat off, you know, no problem. Just take your knife, notch it right through just like that. Okay? Those are some chops. If you're gonna do them on the grill, which is more often than not my preferred method of cooking, you know, you might want to go a little bit thicker, right? You go closer to 3/4 of an inch, maybe even a full inch. Get something just like that, which are really nice. Okay? So now, very simple. All you're doing is just making nice clean cuts right through this piece. And again, these are on sale so frequently at the store that it makes sense to buy that big piece, and hopefully you've learned 1 or 2 things you can do with it here. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you when it comes to pork chops is the stuffed chop. We talked about the stuffed pork roast. Here's a stuffed chop. Now, with these, you're going to want to go pretty thick. You know, that's about 1 inch, if you can see that. I would go even like the 1.5 inches or so, right about in there. Okay. Make that nice. Now we got basically 3 right here because of the size of the piece I had left. Okay, so now you can see that's the fatty side. That's the clean side. Let me just move this guy out of the way here. That's the clean side there. All right, you can kind of see just how thick those are by comparison, right? You see that? Those are the thinner ones, maybe for cooking in the pan. Okay, so the reason for that, obviously, is you're going to make that nice pocket in the chop. So when you do it, this is a great use for the small knife. You're going to come in here right around that fat side where it's nice and clean, and you can judge by the width of the chop, right? You can judge that about how deep you should go to make your pocket. You don't want to go all the way through. You know, you want to stop right in there, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to find the middle of that chop right in here. Okay, so as if you were making a nice cross section. All right, so put that down on the table. Get it nice and you know, hold it nice and firmly in your hand, and you're going to take that knife and just go right into the middle. Okay, now once you're in, you're going to bring it in a little bit, right? So judging that depth by the tip of your knife. My knife tip should be right around here. And then from there, you're going to come forward with a couple nice short strokes, making a pocket. Okay? Now, you don't want this to be too wide, if you can see that there. What you can do, though, is you come right in the middle of that, and you're just going to move your knife inside. So essentially, if you could see this, my knife is inside the chop, okay? And I am, just making sure you see it, inside the chop, and I'm cutting this way inside the chop, just to hollow it out almost, and make that a nice big pocket for stuffing. So, you come on in there, boom, there you go. So you've got a nice pocket right in there, kind of like we had with the roast, right? There's a joke here, I'm sure. You know, I'm trying not to make it. I'm trying to be mature. But anyway, here we go. So there's your nice pocket for stuffing. Okay? All right. Well, that about does it. So you got your stuffing size chops or your big thick grill chops. These are phenomenal. All right? You got some slightly thicker ones here. These are also great on the grill. You could even bake these in the oven. You got some nice thin ones up here for frying. Right? These guys right in front. Okay. You got your butterflied roast, your pounded roast. You got your boneless tied roast. All right? We got it all. And that, my friends, is center cut boneless pork loin.